This is Djarin's Sigil. And there you go. You've got the Mandalorian, um, the Mandalorian sigil, which is the mythosaur. And this is on the handle of my new saber. Now, let's turn this. I just wanted you to get a good look at the mythosaurs there. So this is my second saber by Custom Diversions. And they are run by a father and son, Andrew and his father Ivan. Andrew does the building of the sabers. He's the saber master, and his father Ivan handles the business end. And together they form quite the team. And I've been working with Andrew a bit, especially on this particular saber. We collaborated, i.e. he did all the hard work and I just kind of made some mild suggestions and let him do his thing, and he cobbled together what's nothing short of a masterpiece. All right, so what do we have here? Well, let's give you the full picture. All right, and so this is a solid piece. Now, my arm's kind of thrashed because I've been at it too much. I've been swinging sabers around too much. So I won't be swinging this around, but it is a hefty piece, but it's well balanced, as you can see. I have a 32-inch Infinity V4 blade in here. Not the ideal blade, but it's what I kind of had available. Gonna have to place an order for some blades pretty soon. But this is a very balanced saber. I don't know how Andrew manages it. He seems to. I'm not sure where all the source material comes from. It looks as though the basic principle of his work is he seems to repurpose a lot of material, and creates other material as well. And he creates what I consider to be extremely solid pieces, more than worthy of dueling, because I can't imagine this thing, nor my Djarin saber, of ever getting damaged in any way, shape, or form by anything else, short of an advanced light weaponry saber made out of steel. So let's start with what you usually start with, the pommel. So the pommel has this wonderful little, I'm not sure what it is. It looks like a gear, or some kind of gear affectation, and that's really cool. I like his style of adding material like this to the pommel. I think his pommel game is spot on. So this one works a little bit differently than my Djarin. This one actually screws, and you can remove it. I'm not going to do that. And right inside here is the chassis that holds the lithium ion 18650 battery with a little bit of it's like kind of a thread or something that I can use to grab and pull the chassis out. It came with a battery separate, and insert the battery and you're good to go. What else did this include? I don't have it here, but he also sent me a charger, so now I've got a bucket full of chargers. Some replacement screws, because there's a lot of screws on here that could, I don't imagine any of them will come off, but it's nice to have replacements. And a hex key. Unfortunately, the hex key was a little small, so first chink in the armor, Andrew. No, it's okay. Believe me, I'm all set for hex wrenches. Anyway, so he did this fantastic wrap. And one of the things that was sort of unknown was where was this plate going to go. So I opted to kind of put it on the handle. When I initially saw the placement, I thought that was going to be a little bit strange, but it turns out it's actually it's quite comfortable. So you can see you got your mythosaur there. I imagine this is probably either Loctited or glued or welded on, or something to that effect. I don't know. I don't mean to speculate on his techniques. Suffice to say, this is on here solidly, and there's a couple screws, hex screws holding it into place, and naturally there's a a nice little D-ring, a really, really good quality D-ring. All the materials that are used in this are just amazing. Anyway, so I like this. I like this design effect. I like the weathering. The weathering's phenomenal. I really like the acid etching here. This is just the start of what he's done. I really the wrapping. I mean, I don't think I could ever do it. The wrapping the way some of you guys do it out there. Some of you sabersmiths. Anyway, so that the wrapping terminates here. This really cool sort of brass washer type dealy, which is a nice design element. And here's where things really get cool. You know, a lot of these are they probably serve functional purposes, but they also add to the aesthetics of the saber. So sandwiched between these two brass pieces followed by a copper piece is this lovely acid etched bit with some designs of which the origins I'm not too sure. They may very well, you know, be his own creation, or they could actually come from somewhere specific, but you can feel it, the texture. And then you get to the switch, and it's really interesting if you look at the switch. It's not going to focus, but I'm not sure what all the goop is around the switch, but that's all dry and hardened, and it's definitely holding the switch in. I think that's the main purpose, is to make sure this switch stays in. The other thing that I really like about his sabers is I like the recessed nature of the switch, and these switches are wonderful. I don't know why Saberforge doesn't use a switch like this, because you click it and it recesses into the switch, and that stays in there, and that you don't have to worry about turning this thing on or off inadvertently. And I really, really like these switches. And it has kind of a bit of it resists you a little bit. It's not like with the Saberforge, with their switches for like a warrior tier, it's just, you accidentally turn it on and off, and it sticks out like this far, and it's just, I just can't get into that. That kind of kills it for me. It really does. But I really, I really like the switches that he uses. So anyway, enough of the switches. Always with the switches. Why are you always talking about the switches? Hey, talk about something else, okay? All right, I will. So I like. Okay, so you got this bit that kind of, you got this kind of tube effect here, and I like the grime that's been put in here. It's like kind of a weathering, sort of an anodized weathering or something. This grime is just sort of really gives this thing the aged look. And then of course, you got this slanty bit which kind of meets right here, and you would think this would be kind of a pitch point, but this is solid and it doesn't move, so you don't have to worry about pinching yourself in here. And of course, the edges are all smoothed out, and nothing's sharp, and I really do appreciate that. So the designs continue to here, more swirls and whatnot. I really like I like the mishmash of different screws that's used. That really, really is appealing to me. That's the great thing about stunt sabers. I don't have to worry about telling you about the soundboard. That's really kind of a pain. Well, to me anyway. So initially when I saw the pictures of this, and I think this screw probably connects these two bits here. And then, but I'm not sure. Let's see. That may also hold the LED in place. I'm not too sure. I think this probably holds the LED in place. That would make sense. This kind of just seems it's sufficient enough to hold these two bits together. Initially, I thought when I saw the photos of this that this was kind of a Qui-Gon Jinn sort of affair. Now it's sort of this textured, chromy kind of bit. And the thing is like I keep looking at this and thinking, this is familiar. I think this part, and I don't mean to. It's sort of like trying to figure out how a magic trick works, because Andrew definitely does work magic with his concoctions here, and I'm duly impressed by it. This almost feels like, and I could be wrong, like the inside of a doorknob. Like a brass doorknob. I'm sure I'll find out if I'm right or wrong. And then this just seems like a bit of pipe. Initially, we had talked about putting this piece, down here, but I think that would have been limited. There doesn't seem to be enough room for that. So I think it was a good choice to find another place to put that. Anyway, so these two screws are your blade retention screws, and the blade does go all the way to about down here. So the blade depth is fantastic. This blade is not coming out. So for dueling, perfection. Now, am I wrong, or does that look like the inside of a doorknob? I don't care, man. It kind of looks almost like a horn. But that's definitely cool, and I do like it. I like the brass. And who cares about the damn blade, but it's a 32-inch Infinity V4, blah, blah, blah. So this is equipped with a blue LED. I'm assuming it's some variant of a Luxian or whatnot. I'm not an expert on these things, but it is just a single LED as far as I can tell. And because this does run off of a rechargeable 18650 lithium ion battery, I always think that those look a little bit brighter. And this blade hopefully should reflect the brightness. Andrew said that between the blue and the red, they're pretty much his two brightest colors. My Gero Tapal has the same blue, and I like it. I think it's gratifying. It does look good with this particular blade. It's not the brightest in the world, but then again, it's bright enough for me. Yeah. So there you have it. This is the Djarin. That's the name of the Mandalorian, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Djarin's Sigil. That's the name that I have given to this saber. Djarin's Sigil. Because the Mandalorian acquiring his sigil throughout the series was kind of an important, a plot point that kind of pushed the story along. And, of course, if anybody, spoilers, if anybody's seen the season finale of The Mandalorian, everyone should know that he did actually acquire his sigil at the end of the series. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it had something to do with Baby Yoda. And so now the long wait for season 2 begins. But then we'll hopefully have other series to keep ourselves amused in the meantime. So let me give you a little bit of a different angle here. See how the light plays off of this. This is how I'm going to give you the show here. Excellent work, Andrew. Very beautiful. And of course, he has so many sabers on his website, and they seem to come and go a little bit quicker now. He has several variants of the Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order saber. And I recently saw a review that someone had where he inserted a Nano Biscotti V4. And that got me to thinking. And I've been talking to Andrew, and currently he's going to, maybe he has already started, but he's going to start creating a kind of a Count Dooku-esque curved hilt saber. And it's going to be full-on Sith flavored, complete with, and I'm hoping he'll have a Nano Biscotti V4 with RGB color changing. And so, we've kind of talked about the specs of that to a point. And that's in the works. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm already thinking about what I want him to do after that. So here we go. That's Djarin Sigil, another masterwork from Andrew at Custom Diversions, and I'm 100% satisfied. I wish my arm wasn't so thrashed. I think I kind of overdid it recently with the sabers. Hey, it's what I like. And I have swung this around, and it is a very comfortable, very, very balanced saber. So, I mean, for anybody out there, if you're looking for a dual-worthy stunt saber or even a sound saber, I think you could definitely buy one of Custom Diversion sabers and be 100% satisfied with the net result. And of course, he's willing to he's willing to do commissions and create your own masterworks. Infinitely customizable. His prices are extremely reasonable. He seems to work really fast too, and both Andrew and Ivan are extremely friendly, and I consider them friends. And I'm going to be buying sabers from them as long as we are all able to do that. And yeah, so I'm thrilled. I'm extremely happy. Very, very, very happy, Andrew. Good job, my friend. So give a little bit of a perspective shot. And get up here and get down. Kind of do a little bit of that. Yeah. I guess I'm obligated to turn out the lights and kind of give you an indication of exactly how bright it is. I would be remiss to not do that. So let us do that. We shall turn out the lights one at a time. Boom. A little darker. Yeah, a little darker. And I'll actually turn this on right now. All right, and here you go. Yeah, maybe I can swing this around a little bit. It's like I said, it's heavy, but it's balanced, and it's really comfortable. Yeah. So if you're worried about functionality, do not worry. As I mentioned with the previous video, it's all about the right blade and the right, you have to respect the balance of your weapon and, optimize its capabilities. And I think a 32-inch is quite perfect for this one. And as you can see, it is quite bright. So what more can you ask? Anyway, so that about does it for this review of Djarin's Sigil. Thank you, Andrew. And I'm extremely happy. Can't ask for anything more, my friend. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching this review. Please, feel free to comment. I'll answer your questions. I always try to. Although there's been an awful lot of them, and I'm sure I'm missing a few here and there. But, if you want to subscribe, do so. If you want. If this does it for you. Alrighty then. Thank you for watching. You guys have a good night. And I'll talk to you later. Bye!